Welcome everyone to another CTC Software webinar. My name is Sean Zerbis, the Director of BIM Development here at CTC Software, and today we're going to be continuing with the HIVE CMS User Learning Series, focusing on requesting more content. As always, of course, our webinars are recorded and will be posted to our YouTube channel typically next day. So if you're here with us live, fantastic. If you are watching this recorded, that's great as well. Also, as always, if you are participating with us live in the webinar, you can always throw questions into the GoToWebinar questions window, and we try to answer them live, and we also save a QA session for the end in case you don't get your questions in while we're talking through the main presentation. But with that, let's jump in and talk about today's topic. You know, sometimes you just don't find exactly what you need. And that's true in life, it's true in HIVE, it's true in pretty much everything all around the world. Sometimes you just can't get exactly what you want right away. But the nice thing is that you can ask for it, right? You can find ways of getting it. And in HIVE, we have a very specific way where you can actually ask for more content. I'm going to show you all the aspects of the built-in CTC HIVE request system, but you know, if your company has overridden that system and there's some options for your admins to kind of control that, it might actually direct you to your internal requesting system, and your experience might be a little different, though the start of the journey will probably be about the same. So what I'm going to cover today specifically is how to submit requests. We're going to kind of figure out where that exists in the HIVE UI. And that's going to be the same no matter what your corporate settings are. Typically, you'll have this option available almost certainly, and you'll be able to submit a request. Now, after we're submitting a request, the journey might be a little different, though today's focus is again going to be on CTC's flow for how to create a request, how to submit it in the first place, how to vote and subscribe to requests by others, how to get notified when your request is updated, how to change your request, like all those different things about the request system as it exists in the CTC request environment. And since I'm not big on death by PowerPoint, we're just going to jump in live and take a look at the HIVE request system. First off, how do we submit requests? That's part one here. So I'm going to pull HIVE to the foreground, and I'm actually currently signed in as the wrong user, though the button still exists there the same way. To the bottom left over here, there's the ability to add requests. Now, I'm going to take a moment here. I'm going to sign out from my admin user because I have access to absolutely everything. And instead of being signed in as my admin account, I want to sign in specifically as my demo account, because I think you'll see kind of more what the end user experience is that way. So HIVE is just opening back up here, and it's going to ask me to sign in, and I'm going to use my demo at ctcexpresstools.com account. And my password, of course, put that in. That's going to let me sign back in. And so we're going to be focusing here on the submitting of requests. And assuming I have my settings all configured properly in the admin portal, this user, Joe Demo, should have access to the request system as well. And what you'll notice on the left-hand side here, once HIVE decides to fully load, is that on the left-hand side, there will be a, there it is, add request button. And the nice thing about this now is that if I look for something, maybe I'm looking for, I don't know, price VAV. And maybe I don't get any results on price VAV for whatever reason because there aren't any bits of content. Now, there are some content in here that does match VAV, but maybe I have to have both, right? Price and VAV. We talked about searching controls in an earlier webinar. And so actually, maybe I do have price content in here for that. That might be a bad example. Let's steel case. Let's try that example. All right, there's one chair here, one RPC chair, and that really wasn't what I was looking for. I wanted some steel case PEDs or an overhead storage compartment or something, right? And I'm not finding it here when I just search steel case. So it's time for me to post a request. And on the left-hand side here, for all users, you'll have this add request button. Now again, depending on how your company has this set up, your journey after clicking that button might be a little different. We're focusing on the journey that you'll go through with the CTC request system. So when I click this add request, what it does is it actually brings me here to the CTC requests page. Well, it actually brings me to the dashboard, and then I can direct myself to Hive requests because I already actually had this page up. So it just pulled forward the website, the web portal itself. But Hive requests is where it's going to direct me here. And in that requests portal, and oddly enough, today it's working slightly slower than usual, but here in the request environment, it will show me my requests. Notice I'm logged in as that same Joe Demo user right here, and it shows me my requests right here. There's 2 new requests that I have actually posted from earlier. There are some pending requests that I have, 1 that's in progress by my team, 2 that I guess were rejected for whatever reason, but these requests are sitting in the system. I also have the ability to review all requests here, but the point of this little step was to talk about me creating a brand new request. And so up here to the top right, I can create a brand new request and ask for something like steel case PED, under desk PED content. If I can type, that'd be great. I can give a priority. Maybe I need it yesterday and I want it to be high priority, at which point I need to give a required by date. Maybe it's just medium priority. I want it in the near future. I can also suggest if I know which libraries from my company I want this content to appear in. Maybe I believe it belongs in a specific library. This isn't required input. You don't have to put this, but if you do, it kind of gives the right team members perhaps a notification that you've posted this request, and it probably will get handled sooner if you have it posted to the correct library here. So in my case, the Revit content CTC Express Tools library is probably the right place for it. That's where I go get most of my corporate Revit content in this case. I can decide whether I want this in imperial or metric or both, and my team can be notified about that. And I can also give some descriptions, right? Maybe I want specific sizes, 24-inch and 28-inch under desk PEDs from catalog, whatever. And if I happen to have that catalog, the PDF cut sheet that I was looking at to select this in the first place, it's a good idea for me to actually attach that. So I could browse for and attach a file here, choose whatever it is I want, and then that particular file gets associated to that. In this case, it's just our logo, but it could be whatever the file type is that I need, whatever that PDF information. Maybe there's installation guides. If I have more than 1 document, it's best to give my team as much as I possibly can so they can build exactly what it is I want. And the more descriptive I am here, and the more content I provide them for resources, or maybe I've already downloaded or built a family and I feel like it belongs in the Hive ecosystem, I could attach that directly as well if I happen to have something like that. But ultimately, I can save my request. And what that will do is create the request. Anybody associated with that library or who's a content admin will be notified that there's a new request in the system, and then they can go ahead and start taking a look at that and begin to review my requests. So over here, we can also talk about how to update requests, because after I've posted something, it's possible that maybe one of my admins has asked me for more information. Maybe I didn't give them enough data. That's entirely possible and probable even. Maybe I was very vague in my request and they're asking for more information. So maybe I need to go back and update whatever that request happens to be. Well, I can do that too. It's back in that same environment over here. Now, in this case, I see my Steelcase Underdesk PED content, and if they happened to have been, making some comments there, then I can actually go in there and re-edit my request by simply clicking on it here. You see the little finger pencil kind of pop up. I can click on that. It pops up the edit request, and I have access to all of the original content, and I can choose to attach additional files if I really want to. Or maybe what I want to do is I want to put some extra comments here. Maybe they were commenting to me and I want to comment back. There's a little comments option right there. Maybe I want to post a comment about something, communicate with them if they're asking for more details. I might put it in the main ticket, or I might put it here underneath my comments. So you have the ability to update and comment on your own requests out here. Now, in addition to that, You can take a look at all requests, and you can vote on them. You can kind of upvote them if you feel like it's important that that particular thing in addition to yours gets done. You can subscribe to kind of watch for notifications on other requests. So that's all easy to do here in the site as well. It's the same environment, but instead of just looking at your own requests, which you're automatically watching already, and of course, since you posted it, you want it to be a thing. I mean, you could upvote your own, but that'd be, kind of silly. You can go here to all requests, and in the all requests area, you'll see requests for the entire company, your whole firm. All the requests will show up here, and the same kind of controls you have where you can see your details. You also have the ability to see the details of all of the other new requests, those that are new, pending, approved, in progress, all those different tasks. You can see all of those. And then ultimately within this page, you can do things like watching that. So if maybe over here there was something requested by somebody else, new standards document for printing to PDF, maybe I want to watch that. So as soon as that document is ready, maybe I want to be notified what happens with that. So I can actually just click the little I, it'll add me to the watch list. Or if I'm like, yeah, this is a really good idea, I can hit the upvote button there and it will upvote that request. It'll add my vote to it. And the admins have the ability here to kind of sort and filter by those that are the most voted or newest or whatever, so they can kind of do some filtration there to understand kind of what's going on, right? So those are all kind of the controls with the requesting system that exist. Those are the main controls. There's not a lot more beyond that you really kind of have to worry about. You can post a new request of your own. You can edit your own requests. You can see and upvote and watch requests from others. Now, the final thing here is what happens with notifications. How do you get notified when something changes about your requests or about any other requests? Well, here's the deal. There's actually nothing for you to do because you're signed in. When anything about your requests change, you will be notified via an email automatically. It's just going to come to you saying your request is updated, your request is completed, there was a comment made to one of your requests, and then you can go take a look at your requests in that requests environment. You can get access to it directly, once again, from the Hive area here. You can simply add a request, and this also brings you directly to the request page. So you can go there, and that will save you a bunch of time in trying to navigate to other windows. Now, you can also, if you wanted to, simply bookmark the requests page here and come back to this whenever you really want to. It's just a website. That's where the requests go. All right. I always want to say before you take off, thank you for the time that you've given us. We hope that this session was valuable for you and helps you understand how to use this particular feature, in this case, the request system inside of Hive. And we also encourage you to kind of take a look at our events page and see when the other user learning series and other CTC presentations are upcoming that you may have some interest in. And that way you can participate with us live on these webinars. But with that, once again, final thank you here, and we look forward to seeing you in future CTC webinars. Have a fantastic day.